Om Shanti, good morning to everyone, good morning. So we will all come together to warmly welcome our beloved Baba. Following that, everyone will come together to listen to Baba, calling out to him with deep love and devotion. Just as we do daily, everyone will reach out with great affection. We will take a moment to reaffirm our goals, remembering the profound reason why we are here to listen to Baba. Then after that, you will listen to Baba. Come, let's call out to Baba. Blessings to everyone. Om Shanti. Today is the 27th of February, 2025, and we are here to share the elevated versions of the divine teachings. Baba said, "Sweet children, dear children, genuine companionship is found solely on the path of wisdom. True company is found only on the path of knowledge. Right now, you are in the company of truth. Remembering the words means being in a satsang. Sweet children, the company of truth is not the path of knowledge. Now you are sitting in the company of the true Father. Being in Baba's remembrance is like a spiritual gathering. So I have previously revised this with you all, and today we will go over it once again. Sweet children, the company of truth can only be found when you are on the path of knowledge. The true identity of the soul, which spans across this entire cycle of time, is something that is profoundly significant and deeply meaningful. What is the truth? It is the soul and the Supreme Soul. So if we consider the soul instead of the truth, so the soul's company is found on the path of knowledge. The real recognition of the soul is called the path of knowledge. There was no awareness of the soul. Previously, people had a general idea that the soul exists, but they didn't grasp the true essence and capabilities of the soul. The profound understanding of the soul is something that one can only attain through the path of wisdom and enlightenment. Now, moving forward, you are in the company of truth with the Eternal Father. You are sitting in the company of the soul afterward. Being in the remembrance of the Father means being in all company. By staying in the Father's remembrance, you can truly experience the company of the soul, and you can associate with the imperishable knowledge. Only through Baba's true identity will you understand his virtues and his powers. So when you are sitting with God, so you are sitting with his real knowledge, you are sitting with his real powers, you are sitting with his real identity. The question is, why do you children feel the necessity for a spiritual gathering right now? The need for a spiritual gathering Why is this necessary at this moment? The answer is because the soul, which is in a state of darkness, is connected to the Eternal Father, who is the embodiment of truth. It is only through the company of the imperishable teacher and the true Guru that one can elevate oneself from a state of darkness to a state of light and purity. Without participating in spiritual gatherings, a weak soul cannot find the strength it needs to become powerful. Without the company of God, the soul cannot become strong without the company of God. It is only through the companionship of the Father that the soul attains the power of purity. Through the Father's companionship, the soul is imbued with the strength of purity, ensuring their journey is successful for 21 lifetimes. For 21 lifetimes, their boat of destiny is able to cross over safely and smoothly. Om Shanti, dear children, you are all gathered here in this spiritual assembly. Yes, my beloved children, you are indeed seated here in this sacred gathering, listening to Baba. In this sacred company, children gather at the confluence age of every cycle, and this unique fortune belongs solely to us children. We have the privilege of sitting with God through each cycle, and the world does not understand the true essence of such a divine gathering. The name of satsang has been carried on eternally and continues to do so. In the path of devotion, people also mention that it is a memorial from here, but they do not truly understand its deep significance. Thus, the concept of satsang has been perpetually carried forward. Up until now, we have reviewed this topic numerous times, which essentially means understanding the importance of association. Today's topic delves into why there is a necessity for spiritual gatherings or satsang and the importance of being in good company. What are the various benefits that we gain from participating in satsang? How exactly do these advantages manifest in our lives? In the path of devotion, people say they attend spiritual gatherings. But in reality, there are no true spiritual gatherings in devotion. True gatherings only happen in the path of knowledge. A spiritual gathering is for gaining knowledge. True knowledge encompasses not only information, but also its practical application and the feelings it generates within us. There is no information and no true knowledge. There is application but no feelings. If there are feelings, then there's no application, no matter how much knowledge there is. It's about application. You just kept reading and reading. A spiritual gathering is an integral part of the path of knowledge. At this moment, you are in the company of truth. Souls are in the presence of the truth. There is no other place where souls sit with the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul. They do not recognize the Father. Even though they claim to attend spiritual gatherings, they often fall into the trap of ego. They claim to attend spiritual gatherings, but their ego often overshadows their true understanding due to a lack of genuine recognition. You will not fall into the trap of body consciousness. You understand that we are souls sitting in the presence of Satya Baba. You are aware that we are souls sitting in the divine company of Satya Baba, and it is not possible for any human being to sit in the presence of Satya Baba. And no person can sit in the company of the truth in the evening, especially after engaging in the Murli session and practicing yoga. During the Murli revision, a thought emerged about how beneficial it has been to read Murli after yoga. This has been repeatedly shared with you, so try it out for yourself. After Amrit Vela, it is essential to read the Murli or revise a bit of the Murli in the evening. Our beloved Baba, he does not see any of our shortcomings. He does not see any of our faults, and He bestows upon us infinite treasures, infinite powers, and infinite inheritance. So, what is one of Baba's titles? Baba, in this manner, without seeing or understanding anything, generously and lovingly gives everything away. Therefore, what is one of Baba's titles? What is Baba's title, you might be curious to know? It is the one who helps us forget everything. Isn't that so? So the one who helps the poor is not forgetful. The one who helps the poor sees our poverty, but our situation is different. You will not attach any importance to anything. Now, in terms of attachments, a new attachment has been added. That is why Baba is not called forgetful, because he gives us all his qualities, his powers, and his blessings. Baba generously shares his virtues, his powers, his blessings, and everything that he possesses with them. The soul standing before him is pure and innocent. Baba isn't called simple for no reason, that he does not see any of our shortcomings or weaknesses and gives us all the inheritance. No, he says, make effort and you will receive. However, if we can wisely channel this fervor towards Purusharth, it is essential that I maintain my innocence and simplicity in all aspects. So in that case, the forgetfulness belongs to me. I didn't mention the day before yesterday's Murli, but you must have revised it, right? Everyone revised responsibly. Self-identity. In a similar vein, the Murli delivered on that Sunday highlighted that overcoming one's ego is indeed an act of divine simplicity and nobility. Simple forest. Why is he doing this? How is he doing this? He is doing it this way. He is doing it that way. Why don't they do it? Why do I do it? Why me? Why don't they say anything? In the midst of all these thoughts and questions, focus on just two crucial aspects: your state of mind and your sense of self. You have the ability to complete that task smoothly, so go ahead and do it. Then step back. You are capable of handling it, and I am also contributing to the effort. I am the one doing it, so do not engage in that work. What I found to be good and pleasing yesterday, I took along with me and sat down in the company of Baba. Baba Bolanath is not known for giving away everything, but rather because he comprehends the essence of God and remains pure-hearted and innocent. I do not need to do it because Baba will take care of the accounts. But I entrusted it to God, as it is essential to empower the atmosphere at this moment. According to divine directions, keep yourself simple. There are two types of services, one that has been given to you and another that has been assigned to me. However, as a senior member, I find myself reminding you daily to do this task, to handle that responsibility, to take care of this matter, and to manage that duty. And in doing so, it doesn't require much of your time or effort. If it does not affect your state, then you should go ahead and do it. However, if doing this every day is affecting your well-being, it's important to mention it. You could say, "Sister, this task is consuming my time, but it doesn't seem to be productive." And that is divine service. All service is divine service. You just need to change your mindset, and you can do it. Simple and innocent. After Brahma Baba, many titles were given to everyone, But how many of these titles are truly significant? Dada Vishwakishore Ji, what a grand title that is. How did the humble Dada Vishwakishore Ji come to be known? He inquired from Dadi Ji, who is he in your yagya? Because he was the one managing everything. Dadi Ji explained that he was their coordinator and managing director, who was responsible for overseeing all the tasks and ensuring everything ran smoothly. So then, Dadaji has firmly held the purse in his fingers, grasping it with a sense of responsibility. In essence, I am but a humble servant. So, what is Baba trying to convey? No human being is capable of sitting in the company of truth. By truly understanding your own self, you have made yourself deserving of being in the divine company of God. The term satsang has been recently introduced to us. In its true and complete essence, it means to sit and absorb the teachings as the Father explains. True companionship, the truth that is eternal, the truth that is always true. Truth possesses great strength. The truth is bold and unwavering, standing alone in its singular purity. You souls are now seated with the Supreme Father, who is the embodiment of the truth. You souls are now seated with the Supreme Father, who is the embodiment of truth, and in His divine presence, you are enveloped by His eternal wisdom and light. Having the true Guru means you are surrounded by truth, regardless of whether you are physically present here or at home. Always keep in mind to identify yourself as a soul. I remember the Father. There are two kinds of spiritual gatherings. One is the association with the truth through Shiv Baba, and the other is the connection between souls. We learned about the soul on the path of devotion, but we were not taught about our true spiritual identity. It's about being in that sacred company and discovering who we truly are as souls. Although you may be sitting at home, you recognize yourself as a soul and remember the Father. We, as souls, are now recalling the truth, which means we are in the company of the divine. The Father resides in Madhuban, and there are various ways to keep him in our remembrance. There are numerous methods available to remember the Father, and these methods can be found in the Murli. Sins are destroyed through remembrance. Children know we become perfect with 16 celestial degrees. As we descend, the degrees lessen. Devotion starts off pure and sincere, but over time it can become tainted and lead to a state of ignorance. Hence, it is crucial for them to come into contact with the truth. The soul kept falling and falling until it became degraded. Without company, how will it uplift itself? Now, you souls have been blessed with the company of truth. The soul understands that we must keep Baba in our remembrance. His presence is the true companionship. Remembering him is also considered being in his company. This is the genuine, pure association. Even while in this physical body, you souls should keep me in your thoughts. This is the real, true company. What is the deeper meaning or definition when we talk about this physical body? But the soul knows that we must remember Baba, for it is his company alone. Remembering him is also considered as company. Even in the midst of conflict, you, the soul, must remember me. This is true company, even amidst conflict. Remember me, the soul, and the Supreme Father. This is true company. As it is said, he is in the company of a great person. Therefore, it is crucial to develop a mindset aligned with the divine. For it is through this association with truth that you can transform from a state of tamopradhan to that of satopradhan. The Father explains that He comes only once. At this moment, by uniting the soul with the Supreme Soul, you transcend for 21 lifetimes. At this moment, by uniting your soul with the Supreme Soul, you achieve liberation for 21 lifetimes. Then you must also focus on connecting with the physical body. Following this, you need to connect with the body. This too is part of the divine drama. Baba mentions that when you align yourselves with me, you children attain a state of supreme purity. Now God Himself comes and reveals to you that by forming a deep connection with Him, you become completely pure, which is often referred to as the golden age state. Then, when you become completely pure, where do you go? You enter the new world. This period is referred to as the golden age. Saints and spiritual leaders perceive the soul as being detached. Sages and saints understand that the soul is detached. Right now, only the Supreme Soul exists. Does this mean there is a flaw in the Supreme Soul? The impurities you indulge in and the numerous inappropriate and unclean conversations you have with one another? Is it truly the Father who engages in vices, participates in so many conflicts, or harbors jealousy and conspiracies against each other? The soul is innately pure and untainted. So, who is this child? It is the Supreme Soul, God. This suggests that all these flaws and imperfections cannot exist within the Supreme Soul, as the soul has always been pure and detached from the beginning. God cannot be affected by anything. The Father says, "Can I be affected by anything in the Supreme Soul?" No, I cannot. I have no flaws whatsoever. I always reside in the Supreme Abode because I do not come into the cycle of birth and death. You children are aware of this. Some of you are influenced by the company you keep, while others are less affected. Some people earnestly engage in spiritual efforts and stay immersed in yoga. The more time the soul spends in the Father's presence, the more it gains. Some individuals put in sincere efforts and remain engaged in yoga. Those who practice yoga are considered to be making earnest efforts. The more time a soul spends in the Father's company, the greater the benefits. Negative actions will be erased. The Father urges, "O souls, remember me, your Father, and stay close to me. O souls, remember me, your Father, and stay connected with me always. I need to take the support of this physical body. Otherwise, how would you remember the Supreme Soul? I need to assume this body. Otherwise, how would the Supreme Soul communicate? How can the soul listen? At this moment, the children are in the company of truth and purity. Now Baba has shared his perspective that he must take on a physical body because the soul is not completely detached. If the soul were not detached, then all souls would experience similar births. If one is rich, all should be rich. If one is poor, all should be poor. If it is middle class, then everyone is middle class. Why does it happen that one soul is born into an affluent household, another soul takes birth in a very humble home, and yet another soul's body is exceptionally beautiful? Due to this, she has the potential to achieve a significant amount in her life, whereas another soul's body might be very unattractive and unappealing to others. However, the intellect of one soul is very dull. Even though a soul's intellect is extremely sharp, it still finds itself unable to achieve many things in life. Even with just an average intellect, a soul is capable of achieving great things in life. The soul is not detached, it is bound by its own actions. In this entire cycle of time, everything from God to the divine drama, and including all the souls, everyone can find it within themselves. to forgive you. However, karma does not offer forgiveness as it perpetually accompanies you and your actions throughout your life. Karma remains with you always, and your actions are forever tied to it. To seek forgiveness for your actions and find a way to make amends. To absolve yourself from past deeds and receive forgiveness, there are two primary approaches. One is through the strength of yoga, and the other is by engaging in virtuous actions. The power of yoga and karma. I have to take the support of this body, and Baba has explained this in the Murli. The actions that you performed unknowingly will be considered as such, whether it is lust, anger, greed, attachment, or ego, all of which were done before you embarked on the path of knowledge. And now, with the profound spiritual knowledge that you have been blessed to receive and grounded in this deeper understanding of divine wisdom. Yes, Baba says the soul is the embodiment of truth. The soul is wonderful, God is wonderful, and the world is wonderful. In our discussion about karma, Baba enlightened us on the subtle and hidden dynamics of actions that happen without our awareness. If I engage in service with truly selfless intentions, and within those pure intentions, there exist shortcuts that can guide you towards other noble intentions. If you don't have time to serve the professionals, it's okay. If you don't have time to go outside, it's okay. You currently have some limitations with your body, mind, and wealth. You cannot go outside physically, but that is not a problem. It's okay if you don't feel deeply connected through meditation. It's okay if your wealth is limited. In the home and family where you live, and within the relationships you maintain, if you serve them with selflessness and a heart filled with meditation and divine remembrance, you can break free from your karmic ties and attain spiritual growth and liberation effortlessly. Who holds the most special place in your heart? Is it your brothers, sisters, or other close family members? Serve them with a selfless heart and pure intentions, whether it is preparing their meals, taking care of them, or any other form of service. That will gradually increase because one action will yield 1,000-fold return as it is done with remembrance and a selfless spirit. Selfless service is done, but there's no remembrance of the One. How can it be so easy to perform with a selfless heart, understanding the soul, and being in constant remembrance? Baba has assured us that it truly is that simple. Every soul is your brother, including your biological siblings. Yet, it is essential to develop a sense of detachment. It is crucial to develop a sense of detachment. It's amazing how this world goes through cycles. You play an all-round role in the entire drama. Your soul holds the part of 84 births, which is truly wonderful. The souls of the golden age and today's souls, among them your soul is the most all-round. Among all, your soul is the most versatile. In a performance, some roles start from the beginning, others from the middle, and some from the end. These are all finite dramas. They have just come into existence now. With the current advancements in science, imagine the power it will have in the golden age. The new world will be created rapidly. The strength of purity is paramount. The weak are there, but the strong are here. Sri Lakshmi and Sri Narayan are strong, right? Sri Lakshmi and Sri Narayan are indeed powerful, aren't they? However, at this moment, Ravan has taken away that power from them. By overcoming Ravan, you gain immense strength. The more you immerse yourself in truth, meaning the more the soul remembers the true Father, the stronger you become. Now, where exactly is this mentioned? It is good to remember me in true company, but if you serve your family, that will be worldly. The more you spend time with me and engage in activities in my presence, the more powerful those actions will become. This is why Baba often reminds us that charity starts at home. Begin by uplifting your own family members as they are within your reach. You share a deep emotional bond. Your presence is significant and your time can be easily dedicated to them. In the process of learning these teachings, you not only gain inner strength and empowerment, but you also feel as though you possess the authority to influence the entire world. You have dominion over the entire world. Yet here, in this sacred space, you must refrain from asserting control or authority over anyone. Here, you must not exercise authority over anyone. In your studies, you do well, you receive well, you command the entire world. The soul's connection with truth happens at the confluence. The Father says that by meeting me, the soul becomes very powerful. The Father is the Word Almighty Authority, and through Him, power is received. In this, the knowledge of all the Vedas and scriptures from the beginning, middle, and end is attained. In this context, the profound wisdom of all the Vedas and scriptures, spanning from the beginning to the end, is imbued with immense power. There is an inquiry. Although questions are typically reserved for later, this one pertains to our current discussion. It is often said that only the time spent in remembrance of Baba after completing your 8-hour worldly duties counts. But this is not true. When you wake up in the morning, and if you are in remembrance of the Father, then that entire time is considered divine. Engaging in service for God will contribute to your virtuous deeds. What is the 8-hour concept, brother? Your account is there, right? Completing it with remembrance works, doesn't it? However, you should not include that remembrance in your spiritual chart. Instead, focus on serving your siblings. What do you require to quickly resolve the karmic account surrounding you? Remembrance. All right, for example, if you have to do service for 8 hours, the meaning of service is remembrance and knowledge. The combination of feelings and remembrance won't be written in the yoga chart as it is present here. After performing selfless service, only then will we engage in yoga. Baba mentioned that you should allocate 8 hours for divine remembrance, 8 hours for selfless service, and 8 hours for rest. This is Baba's principle. In the same manner, while engaging in worldly affairs, one should dedicate at least 4 hours, as Baba instructs. This encompasses the wisdom found in all the Vedas and scriptures, spanning from their inception to their culmination. Just as the Father is the almighty authority, you too become supreme powers. You rule the world with such unparalleled authority that no one can take it from you. Indeed, your sovereignty over the world remains unchallenged. Now, if we were to apply this very same principle here, just as the Father is considered almighty, you too possess that almighty power during this confluence age. If you remain in constant remembrance of the divine and maintain control over your state of being, then no one will ever have the power to take away your state from you. Kingdom. Just as the Almighty Father is all-powerful, Maintain the awareness that I too am all powerful. Just as no one can take away my kingdom there, no one can take away my kingdom here either. What is my kingdom? It is my inner state, my virtuous actions, my peaceful nature. Regardless of the situation, if I am aligned with the Almighty, my nature of having pure intentions will prevail. You receive so much strength through me, and they also receive strength. The more you remember the Father, the more strength you will receive. This is not about that place, it is about here. The more you remember the Father, the more strength you will gain. So, it is certain that no one can come there. We are talking about here, right? The Father does not cause any trouble. You only need to remember Him. The cycle of 84 births has ended, and now it is time to return. Understanding this is not difficult. Explaining and understanding this concept is not a big deal. There is no need to get bogged down in too many details or small questions. There is no necessity to delve into minor things. By knowing the seed, one understands how this entire world emerges from it. In a nutshell, it becomes clear in the mind. These are very wondrous things. On the path of devotion, people face many hardships. You work hard and get nothing, yet the Father comes and makes you the master of the world. We become masters of the world through the power of yoga. This is the effort we must make. Through the power of yoga, we become the masters of the entire world, and this is the kind of effort we must put in now. With the strength of our meditation, we shall govern this world. The dominion of the entire universe will belong to us. Keep this goal in mind while making efforts. Otherwise, these efforts will be in vain. India's yoga is famous. Through yoga, your lifespan increases significantly. The benefits of being in the company of truth are immense. Your lifespan increases and your body becomes disease-free. All these concepts are instilled in the minds of you children. Your lifespan increases and your body does not become diseased. These examples are taken from here. The power of yoga is just as effective in this place as it is anywhere else. For instance, send our heartfelt regards to Dehradun. His father was also a renowned astrologer, and one of his friends had predicted that he would not live beyond 13 years. So Baba went, Baba saw, and Baba said, "Brother, give me this child." His father said, "That's right. Now that she's over 13, she should get involved in some virtuous work." Therefore, when they were in their teenage years, Dadiji and Didiji came here to the yagya. Baba provided them with excellent spiritual training and guidance in the knowledge of yoga. Didiji in particular was a very accomplished yogi. One day, Sister Ji came down with an extremely high fever, which was very intense and concerning. Baba then instructed that she be brought to his room, which is known as the Imben room, for closer care. Then Baba stayed with Didiji, and he dedicated the entire night to performing yoga for her well-being. In the morning, when Didiji was discovered to be unconscious, Mama went to her and explained that Baba had granted her a new life. What Allah had foretold about the future indeed came true. But Baba says that with the power of yoga, one's lifespan can be extended. The association with truth brings numerous benefits. Not only does one's lifespan increase, but the body also becomes free from diseases, resulting in a healthier and more robust life. Just as we have told you about Dadi Janki, look at all the Dadis. Look at our Dadi Ratna Mohini. Consider the example of Gulzar Dadiji. If we take a moment to reflect on the age of Gulzar Dadiji, We can observe that although she lived to be in her 90s, her age could be considered as being twice that, metaphorically speaking. Consider this. If Baba had never taken a physical form, things would have been quite different. Now imagine if I asked you to consume 1 kilogram of ghee today. So what will happen by evening? Health. The issue arises because the body requires energy to digest and utilize that strength. If we explain this to a farmer, they would understand it easily. 0.5 kilogram. Even now, people in villages continue to consume it. Just think about how much strength is needed to accommodate the supreme power, the supreme power, the supreme power. Within us resides the divine presence of Shiv Baba, who is the supreme God. This indeed is a profound and meaningful declaration. Wouldn't you agree? Why did Baba choose Dadi Gulzar Ji in particular? Baba mentioned that it is because she possesses an exceptional capacity to absorb and harness inner strength. To channel that energy and fortify your inner strength, it is crucial to integrate that power within yourself in every possible manner. For instance, think about having a scooter. You have a small scooter at home, right? Now you sit on your scooter to go somewhere, and then your brother also decides to sit on it along with you. Now imagine if a very large and heavy person were to come and sit on that same scooter. Do you think it would still be able to move or function properly? In a similar manner, Brahma Baba once shared a significant teaching with you. When Brahma Baba was cremated, the Shanti Stambh was established at that location. In the tennis court, after that, the ashes were carefully placed in a pot, and you must have seen that small peace pillar, right? It was a relatively minor issue, so it was acceptable to send his photograph, and it was only created much later on. However, when they were lifting it, a small fragment that resembled a flower petal fell to the ground, and to everyone's surprise, it produced a sound similar to that of silver. So later, when Baba was offered Bhog and the message was sought through the medium, Baba conveyed the message that the child had indeed. With such intense spiritual practice, the soul, along with the body, is moving towards a state of purity. So it is not just about the other realm, it's about our destiny here as well. When you are studying in an engineering college, you don't just apply the knowledge there alone. You don't, do you? You start applying it in your life, the things you need to know. There was an instance when I came back home from college and discovered that our fan had malfunctioned. My father suggested that I should attempt to repair it, and I replied, "So call a mechanic, why is he doing engineering?" So they believe that it involves just fixing fans and other electronic devices and doing this kind of technical work. It seems that knowledge is applied simultaneously. Brother, once you learn how to make bread, you don't need anything special for it. Wherever you go, you can use that skill. Just imagine the immense benefits that come from being in the company of sattva. Now let's discuss the first topic about the benefits of being in the company of sattva. The first topic is that your lifespan increases. Your body also becomes healthy. All these ideas are instilled in your minds. No one else in the world has the association with sattva except for you Brahmins, who are uniquely privileged with such a divine connection. There is no association besides yours with sattva. Remember, you Brahmins are the children of Prajapita Brahma, the grandchildren of the grandfather. Keep in mind who you are connected with and who is offering you their support. We should be so happy. We are Dada's grandchildren. We receive the inheritance from Dada. This is the journey of remembrance. Remembering with relationships is the journey of remembrance. This should stay in the intellect. In those satsangs, people sit in one place. Here, it is different. It is not that by sitting in one place, we will have the company of sattva. No. While flying, sitting, walking, and moving, we are in the company of sattva. Nonetheless, it's essential to practice by sitting in a dedicated spot. Make sure to practice sitting in one place. During the last Avyak meeting season, Baba emphasized the importance of dedicating a significant portion of the day to remembering him. He suggested that at least 20% of our daily time should be spent in remembrance, which he clarified as a few hours rather than an exact percentage. We had done some calculations here once again, and it turned out to be 20%. Baba had mentioned that we should practice remembrance for 5 minutes every hour, didn't he? Or perhaps it was more like this. So, there are 25 hours in a full day. I know there are actually 24, but for this calculation, let's assume 25. When you multiply 25 by 5, it comes out to roughly 4 hours. So, if you think about 4 hours, it's like dividing 24 hours into 4 parts, each representing 25%, adding up to 100%. From that 100%, taking a portion gives you roughly 20%, which is around 19 point something. This is what Baba has mentioned. It's not about sitting in one place. Remember him while sitting, standing, walking, or moving. When you remember him, or even when you do not, you remain in a state of body consciousness. The body is a transient entity. This is a crucial point highlighted in this Murli. If the body is unreal, what is real? Shiv Baba, the essence of the soul. Which soul recognizes another soul? Now, the essence of purity is symbolized by Shiv Baba. By understanding what he has revealed, realizing oneself as a soul embodies this purity. Today, do this practical homework. Today, count how many times Baba has used the word Sat in the Murli. And in front of the word Sat, you need to write soul wherever it appears in the text. Just as Baba often says, I am the true Guru. Therefore, in this context, the soul as a Guru will not be present for me, who has spoken the term Sattva. In their presence, avoid discussing anything too complex. Just focus on the essential points and extract the essence. What did I say about the essence earlier? The body cannot be regarded as true. It is made up of 5 elements and lacks a soul, rendering it lifeless. Thus, human bodies do not possess any inherent value. The true fortune belongs to the soul. The soul asserts its identity, saying, I am this or that. Baba then asks, how did the soul end up in this condition? This means that, initially, Baba mentioned that the entirety of one's status, efforts, and destiny are meant to be received by the soul. Therefore, it becomes evident that the human body itself does not possess any significant value. And the value of everyone's body is that the fortunate soul must receive it. I tell such and such soul, Baba says, what has happened to the soul? What condition has the soul become? Like an egg. The scum and muck consume everything. Turtles, alligators, and fish consume everything in their path. Each one is like a Bhasmasur who destroys whatever comes their way. They bring about their own destruction by indulging in desires. Each one is leading themselves to ruin, thus becoming like Bhasmasur, isn't it? Every soul that is aware of the fact that their actions are incorrect, yet continues to engage in those actions. What would you call such a soul? Bhasmasur. Everyone knows that it is not right to eat meat, eggs, or fish, yet they still consume these things, which makes them like Bhasmasur. Similarly, everyone in the Brahmin family knows that one should not be jealous. One should not complain about each other, complaining in the sense of jealousy. There is a way to inform, like saying, "Sister, these things are being mishandled. Please pay some attention." Another way is to complain, hoping they get scolded or punished. Making fun of others by observing their mental state, my brother, is similar to treating a child who has been like this since their early childhood. He is not able to work out at the same level as normal individuals do, and as a result, he is often labeled as a slow learner and gets pointed out by others. It seems that nothing makes sense to you at all, so it would be better if you sit over there later. You haven't seen God, and there isn't a single example to illustrate this. Sometimes I use slightly harsh language. Baba has included those who seem a bit insane in the garland. You, who are perfectly fine, are being driven to madness. You must forgive, you must give, and you must remain silent. People are not coming to your service center because they feel that upon arriving there, they are unable to receive the things they truly need and desire. Therefore, it's not entirely correct to say that their role in the drama was only that limited. You cannot just say this if a young child from your home were to pass away. I am merely an instrument here, all right? If a child is absent from this organization, and I mentioned that it was their destined role in the drama of life, it might be somewhat acceptable. However, if my young brother were to pass away at an early age, could I genuinely say the same thing? How could I possibly express that? This means I should evaluate my own nurturing. It's not that their roles are the same. Although their paths are different, I need to introspect and understand why they stopped coming to the center, why they ceased practicing yoga, and why they halted their spiritual efforts. I must ensure that there has been no deficiency in my nurturing, and for that, it is essential to be a very keen observer of my own shortcomings. So what if I spoke up? So what if I said a lot? I really can't say. I really can't say. Handle everything with immense love, just like you would with a little baby. Everyone has probably held a newborn baby in their arms, right? You know how gently you cradle them, but you need to cradle a Brahmin soul with even greater tenderness. These are souls of the divine family, God's children. They need 1,000 times more love and affection. It's not just about following elevated directions. It requires nurturing. Bhasmasur symbolizes destruction. By sitting on the pyre of knowledge, we become deities. The whole world, sitting on the pyre of lust, has turned to ashes. It has become degraded. The Father comes to turn his children from dark to light. Baba explains that by leaving deity consciousness and seeing ourselves as souls, we can transform. Children study in school, and study is also in religion. It stays in the intellect. This should be in your mind. This is your student life. The aim and objective are in front of you. Whether flying, sitting, walking, or moving, this knowledge should stay in your mind. This is your student life. Do not skip it. No one will give you a score by sitting at home, even if you are getting full marks. Everyone must go to the center. Conduct the Murli at the center, perform service at the center, and follow the guidelines of the center. No. Based on your current situation, you will organize your schedule. Your duties at the center involve attending Murli sessions, practicing yoga, and then returning. You don't need to listen to anything additional. If any service is assigned, simply ask sister, is there any service needed? Or brother, is there any service required? And carry it out quietly. When you go to the assemblies, people take an interest in you. Keep this knowledge in your mind as you go about your day. Whether at the university or school, my main responsibility is to study and move on. The table broke, who will fix it? Who will pay master's fee? The blackboard broke, how will we manage? Fetching water from the roof, these are my tasks. My job is to pay the fee and return. At the 30-minute mark, the power of yoga, assimilation. Children come here to refresh. Methods are explained to help explain things, as there are many systems in the world. Students come to Madhuban to refresh themselves, but those coming for over 5 years shouldn't come just for refreshment. In the path of knowledge, 1 year equals 5 years. So 5 years become 25 years, and a 25-year-old becomes accomplished. Now come to Madhuban to refresh. Come to Madhuban for yoga. Strengthen Madhuban's roots. Support Madhuban's residents and this sacrificial fire. To become powerful, you must do what you used to do to refresh yourself. But now you must change your thoughts. I am now the responsible soul of this yagya from the first day until the last. And I must create a good atmosphere with yoga. A large number of people gather, but that is not true company. True company is experienced only by you children now. The Father descends to establish the golden age. You become the sovereigns, but if you succumb to ego or false pride, you fall, whereas with the company of truth, you rise. For half the cycle, you experience the fruits of your deeds. It is not that even there the true company is present. The distinction between truth and falsehood is made when both are evident. When the virtuous souls arrive, they are the ones who impart all the wisdom. Until these virtuous souls come, no one truly comprehends these teachings. Now, the Father addresses you children. O souls, remain in my company and stay connected with me. What does it signify to remain in the Father's company? The next topic is to rise above the attachments of the body. Detach yourself from the companionship of the body and become detached, remembering that this is for divine service. Even remembering this one word holds immense power. The bond with the body implies that my children are dedicated to service, my parents are devoted to service, my siblings are committed to service, and all that I possess is for service. It is not about identifying them as my mother, my aunt, or my maternal aunt. In the golden age, you will still have a body, but it will be pure. Through the embrace of truth, you transition from impure to pure. Eventually, both your body and soul will be of the highest caliber. Currently, the world is at its lowest point. The world does not age further. In the new world, the original ancient deity religion flourished. However, that religion has now been forgotten. It is often referred to as the eternal Hindu religion. And now you, the inhabitants of Bharat, recognize that we were once followers of the ancient deity tradition. Our principles are very ancient. The principles of that religion made the world into the golden age. Based on those principles, souls have traveled this far. This is the essence I must revive once again. The cycle is described as being very long, and everyone has forgotten these crucial teachings. It is known as the game of forgetfulness. Now, through the true Father, you achieve the highest status by understanding all the knowledge. However, after half the cycle, you descend again because the reign of Ravana begins. The world will indeed become old, won't it? You understand that we were once the masters of the new world. and now we find ourselves in the old world. Some people do not even remember that Baba transforms us into residents of heaven. For half a cycle, we remain in heaven, and then for the other half, we fall because the kingdom of Ravana begins. However, if someone asked, what deeper meaning or significance can be derived from the current state of destruction? As we've mentioned numerous times before, we should not dwell on thoughts of destruction. Instead, we must concentrate on our spiritual power through yoga. When a child tells Baba, Papa, Papa, today we have to go to the mall, Baba thinks whether or not he has taken the purse, and he picks it up and goes. Dad, can you get this too? Dad, can you get this too? Dad, can you get this too? Dad, what are you doing? Just come here for a moment. If uncle goes to this place, brother, just take a little bit and don't overthink it too much. Don't take all of this and say that mama will come up with excuses. All right, if you are able to understand the situation clearly, then you should proceed and respectfully address him as uncle. There are other relationships as well. So Baba makes us residents of heaven. We will remain in heaven for half a cycle, then after half a cycle, we fall down because Ravana's influence begins. Therefore, we were the masters of the new world in the golden age. And at the end, those with yoga power will not witness any scenes of destruction. We will see all the scenes of destruction, but we remain detached. Today, we see destruction everywhere. What are we doing while sitting here? Yogis are engaged in their practice. Someone is coming with a new form. Someone is coming with pain because our yoga is at that level. Now gradually, it will start coming around us. Then, to get out of it, we will gather more powerful yoga. So we don't need to worry about that place. We need to worry about our state. The world will age, won't it? You see, Baba transforms us into residents of heaven. For half the cycle, we will dwell in heaven, and then we will reside in hell. You too are becoming Master Almighty. You have become Almighty. Rank yourselves. You have attained the state of being Almighty, but the question is how you can secure your rank through your efforts. By fixing your rank, you can truly become Almighty. Even at this very moment, you are receiving a precious dose of this nectar-like knowledge, which is truly invaluable and profound. This is the nectar dose of knowledge. Shiv Baba has received old organs. New organs are not available. Only the old instrument is received. When the father comes into retirement, the children feel happy, and so does the father. The father says, I come to give knowledge to the children and to save them from Ravana. Hence, the instrument is played with joy. The father plays the instrument with great happiness. The leaves are joyfully rustling. Why did I receive this? And yet, why did I receive nothing? Madhuban is my great fortune to witness all these things. Some say they are not given the opportunity to serve, while others feel they are not allowed to continue their service for long. Those who do serve for extended periods wonder why they are not put to the test. Meanwhile, those in the trial phase feel distressed about their dedication, and those who are dedicated feel sorrowful about having to return home. It seems everyone is facing their own set of challenges. There is a paper for everyone, and some are facing certain situations. This does not mean that those who are dedicated will refuse to go there due to some issue or another. And a straightforward way to test this is by saying that I am very diligent and I have no need to go anywhere. All right? There are so many invitations that you could explore the entire country. In reality, you should know your true identity, and understand where your real needs lie. If Baba sends you for service, why wouldn't you go? You will go, but as I always tell you, this place that you have received, you will later realize that this place of penance you have received, including your home and local service center, is a center for divine service. How grateful will you feel? Today, let everyone take a moment during their yoga practice to express their gratitude for this space. Relax here and appreciate the environment, including the wings and doors. It is due to the small storehouse provided by Shiv Baba that you are able to engage in the practice of yoga with these souls, and this is a great blessing. You sit down to do yoga for a little while, and someone from downstairs starts calling, Auntie, 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 or Mom, 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 so you have to concentrate even more, knowing they will come. So you should not get agitated and instead seek ways to enhance your concentration. Today, make sure to show your appreciation to all your siblings around you and to the special places of service where you perform such deep meditation. Baba, with great delight, plays the drum, rejoicing not only in this body and its form, but also wholeheartedly accepting the financial and mental conditions. These spiritual conditions, when it feels like no one is there to support you, neither worldly nor spiritual, yet the situation remains the same, you should still say thank you. In one way or another, the Almighty is always by your side. What an extraordinary cosmic play this is. Reflect on who stood beside Arjuna during his trials. Everyone has left. Who is God's beloved child? This lesson is everlasting and never ends. The Father has to endure great suffering. Children should always remain joyful. The more you associate with good company, the happier you will be. The reason for the lack of joy is simply not remembering enough. When we remember less, situations appear before us. How can this be? How can that be? Everyone who has achieved that position had to climb the mountain, no matter who they are. I consider myself fortunate that I have witnessed all this firsthand, from the senior sisters to the elder brothers, and from the great souls, everyone has experienced it. We are enduring. Running a yagya is not a simple task, my dear. Running a company or even a multinational company is easier. Why did you make a mistake outside when you did the right thing above? Here, everyone is a king and all are dedicated. If you made a mistake, you have the opportunity to explain it. You cannot remove them, as there is no rule that allows for that. Even if you have done well, how can you possibly replace the seniors who are sitting above you with just strategies? Numerous challenges arise, and it is the divine duty of God to ensure that everything progresses smoothly without any hindrances. Children should always remain joyful. The more they stay in good company, the less they worry. The Father bestows His inheritance upon them. Children who possess a genuine heart are showered with immense love from the Father. The easiest path to having a genuine heart is to earnestly cultivate it. The most straightforward method to achieve a sincere heart is by dedicating your utmost effort. Clear everything out daily. Remove all that is unnecessary. We will start afresh from tomorrow. Those who truly remain pure at heart and sincere become helpers of the Father. They are always ready for service and are dear to the Father. We must ask ourselves if we are performing true service. We inquire within ourselves if we perform genuine service. What does it truly mean to offer sincere service? The third point is about maintaining a close relationship with the true Father. If we do not stay connected with the true Father, what will be the outcome? While guiding many on the path, we will also face challenges. What inheritance have we received from the true Father? Reflect inwardly and understand that each one receives their inheritance uniquely. Some receive more, some less. The contrast is like night and day. Sweet children, embrace the love and good morning from your spiritual father, Baba Dada. Greetings to the spiritual children from the spiritual father. We send love and good morning to the spiritual father and grandfather. Along with practicing knowledge, stay detached from worldly associations. Become pure through the company of truth. In this student life, keep this in mind while walking and moving around. Continue to immerse yourself in knowledge. Keep your goals clear as you strive. With a genuine heart, become a devoted helper of the Father. It is a blessing to become a helper of the Father with a true heart. To achieve the blessings and rewards of the first birth, it is important to maintain a state of unwavering purity and remain free from all obstacles. Through a state of non-attachment and purity, one attains the fortune of the first birth and becomes close and equal to God. Steadfast devotion is something unique, while infidelity is quite different. Having a mind dedicated to one entity is what defines true devotion. In contrast, infidelity is marked by unfaithful or promiscuous actions. As I have explained before, if your intellect is entangled with more than one person and you understand its genuine meaning, a soul that transcends a spiritual essence, the identities of both male and female who sell their bodies for a living, engaging in this act to sustain themselves. A lifestyle that leads one to engage in such actions is referred to as a life of indulgence and immorality. Prostitution involves engaging in immoral activities, whereas purity of mind signifies unwavering devotion to one's husband and father. For God, there exists a sense of unwavering devotion that leads to a state of non-attachment and freedom from all kinds of obstacles. They are unwavering, pure, and free from obstacles. Those who are blessed with the fortune of their first birth are endowed with two remarkable powers. How can one attain and equate their first birth based on these two powers? What is the easy way to achieve this? Baba explains that the children who draw near to the Father's virtues and sanskars with a true and devoted heart, those children, those who are close to the qualities and sanskars of the Father and experience His companionship and equality in all relationships, come near to the royal family in the first birth. In the second birth, only those who have been consistent and free from obstacles since the beginning will come. Being free from obstacles does not mean they will not come. It means always emerging victorious over them. If these conditions are met from start to end, they will be companions in the first birth. In my mind, I have a vivid picture that regardless of any circumstances, I must always stay connected with God. Different circumstances, different things, different conditions, but I must not abandon God's company, whether in joy or sorrow. Embrace divine qualities like God and cultivate them. The guiding principle is to convert negativity into positivity through the power of silence. Transform the negative into positive with the power of silence. As soon as something goes wrong, immediately stop and enter silence. Sit with Baba, and then I will give you the answer. Then see what is negative and what is positive. All right, Om Shanti. If anyone has any questions, please let me know. What is bondage and liberation in life? While living life as I am dedicated here, Baba has given me all the world's facilities here, just for one thing, for meditation. Here I am, not even engaging in deep meditation, pondering where I have landed, contemplating my next steps, whether to choose this path or that one, and reflecting on what truly matters. My mind is wandering in meaningless things like eating, drinking, traveling, and dressing. In moments of laziness and carelessness, when I am detached from my own life, in such a state I am confined. to be captivated by any allure of Ravana, to remain under his charm, and to feel bound. Yet, experiencing liberation and embracing the freedom of my soul. Even while living this life, I am experiencing the feeling of liberation. I am with God, I am under divine care, I am in divine service, I am in divine fortune. By the grace of God, I am earning this fortune and bringing happiness to this world for 84 births. Thus, I am liberated from life. I am blessed with everything I need, and whatever I desire, God will personally provide. Life is truly free. All right, a question is being asked. Baba says one can attain a high position in a single day, but he also emphasizes the importance of long-term practice. Let's talk about understanding it clearly, shall we? A new child has been born into our family today. And what has this child become in the larger context? He has become the heir, taking on the legacy and the associated duties. But how long does it take for him to understand that he is a warrior if we look at it according to the Indian Constitution? At the age of 18, individuals gain the right to vote, and by 21, they can fully engage in the electoral process. Until they reach 18, it seems like they are on the journey towards becoming more responsible. In a similar way, on the path of wisdom, even a single day of earnest effort can lead us to perfection. However, reaching that state of certainty can bring about instant liberation. It takes a little time to come to that realization, so it was a long period of practice since you started, and the day will come when you will understand it clearly and fully. Just as Brahma Baba, Dada Lekhraj took nearly 60 years to fully comprehend and understand who God truly is. Keep searching, and one day, when your resolve is firm, you will make swift progress in that direction. In the same way, there will come a day when your determination will become resolute, and you will affirm, "Indeed, I can achieve this, and my efforts are now dedicated to this purpose." So, long-term practice. Just as teams are currently immersed in various cricket matches, these individuals will participate for a mere 3 to 4 hours a day. Yet, within that short span, they will rise to become champions. However, to attain such a prestigious title, the victorious team must have invested years in relentless practice, refining their skills through countless hours of dedication and perseverance. They devoted countless hours practicing both day and night. All right, so the Half World Cup is underway right now, isn't it? No, it's the Champions Trophy that's currently taking place. All right, so all the teams are engaged in a fierce competition among themselves, meaning they are fighting intensely. Okay? Om Shanti.